Hello and kia ora, my friend. This is Dr. Naina Shah, your integrative doctor, welcoming you to Chapter 2, the Hypothalamus Pituitary Ovarian Axis, a regulatory system for our sex hormone production. Let's get started. Let's first look at a little bit about your hormones. Hormones are like tiny messengers running around your body, helping your glands and organs communicate with each other. They are super important because they keep almost all our cells functioning properly. Think of them as small but mighty, controlling everything from your metabolism and growth to a host of other essential functions. To show you just how powerful hormones are, let's talk about how they are measured and compare them with our main mineral in the body, sodium. In your blood tests, sodium is measured in millimoles per liter, progesterone in nanomoles per liter, while estrogen in picomoles per liter. For some perspective, 1 millimole equals 1 million nanomoles and 1 billion picomoles. So you can see we are talking minuscule amounts that pack a huge punch. And with hormones being so powerful in such tiny amounts, you need a very tightly regulated system to keep everything in check. It's like having a finely tuned orchestra. Each hormone needs to play its part perfectly to keep your body running smoothly. Now let's explore how it all works. How the brain regulates ovarian hormones. We will talk about hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis, your body's communication superhighway. And then we will see how ovarian hormones connect with your body. Let's dive in and see how these connections help your brain and ovaries work in perfect sync with the rest of your body. This illustration shows where the master glands, the hypothalamus and pituitary, are located in your brain. The hypothalamus sits deep within your brain, and just below it is the pituitary gland, about the size of a pea. Tiny, right? But don't be fooled. These little powerhouses run the show. It's incredible how such small glands can regulate so many vital functions in your body. They may be small, but they are mighty in their function. Now let's see how the hypothalamus works. The hypothalamus is the boss of the operation, controlling key functions like heart rate, body temperature, hunger, the sleep wake cycle, and of course, reproductive hormones. Its main job? Keeping your body balanced and everything running smoothly. It's constantly on the lookout, monitoring what's going on inside and outside your body to fine tune its messages. And just like any great boss, the hypothalamus has a trusty assistant, the pituitary gland, of course. The pituitary takes orders from the hypothalamus and manages other hormone secreting glands, including your ovaries. It's the ultimate tag team duo keeping your body in sync. So, now let's explore the hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis. For your ovaries to make just the right amounts of estrogen and progesterone, as we saw how potent they are, there is a super smart communication network between your brain and ovaries, sending hormonal signals back and forth. This hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis is the mastermind behind regulating reproductive functions and keeping your menstrual cycle on track. Let's see how this whole system works. This diagram shows how the glands communicate with each other using hormones. Hormones from one gland can either stimulate, shown by green arrows, or slow down, inhibit, shown as red arrows, the production of hormones in another gland. For instance, the hypothalamus releases gonadotropic releasing hormone, bit of a mouthful, GnRH, which tells the pituitary gland, hey, it's your turn. The pituitary responds by releasing follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, which nudges the ovaries to start producing estrogen. This stimulating process is called positive feedback, shown by green arrows here. But when there is enough estrogen circulating in the body, it sends signals back to the pituitary and hypothalamus to hit the brakes and slow down their hormone production. This is called negative feedback, represented by the red arrows. This gives us a good glimpse into the complexities and sophistication of this communication system. We will dive into even more details as we explore the menstrual cycle and other chapters ahead. Now, let's learn what happens to hormones once they are produced and how they make their way to their target destinations. Once hormones are produced in the glands, as shown here in this illustration, they are released into the bloodstream. Think of blood vessels as the highways. These little messengers travel far and wide, making their way to distant organs and glands. So, when your ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone, these hormones don't just chill out, they are off to work, influencing everything from hypothalamus and pituitary to brain cells, skin, the uterus, breast tissues, and more. Hormones really get around. They've got busy schedules just like us and a whole lot of work to do. When these hormones reach their target cells, for example, estrogen heading to your breast tissue, they need specific receptors to get the job done. Think of receptors as locks and your hormones as the perfect keys that fit them. Once the right hormone binds to its receptor, like the key fitting into the lock, as shown here with estrogen binding to the receptor inside the cell, it triggers specific changes into that cell. For example, estrogen's main role is to promote growth, like thickening the uterine lining or breast tissue. Then progesterone steps in as the calm, mature friend, slowing down that growth and helping the tissue mature. It's all about the right key meeting the right lock. This illustration shows that you have receptors for ovarian hormones, estrogen, and progesterone all over your body. These hormones don't just focus on the reproductive organs like uterus, vagina, and breasts, they also affect your skin, hair, bones, muscles, fat tissues, liver, and even your brain. They really do get around. Talk about multitaskers. In summary, here is what we covered today, that hormones are incredibly powerful and our bodies work hard to tightly regulate their production and effects. We saw how the hypothalamus and pituitary gland in your brain are the key players in regulating ovarian hormone production. We also learned that communication between the hypothalamus, pituitary complex, and the ovaries is vital for maintaining hormonal balance. And then we saw how ovarian hormones interact with cells in both reproductive and non reproductive organs through specific receptors, and they influence many aspects of our health. Understanding these connections is essential to grasping how our bodies maintain hormonal balance and overall reproductive health. This knowledge will be super helpful as we dive into the upcoming chapters. Thank you for your attention. Let's keep learning and empowering ourselves with this knowledge. There is so much more to explore.